Yeah.
signs a contract to agree, like this is how much it's going to cost and this is what it's going to look like, and then they get to work, right? Just removing stuff off your credit,
They
just
they
like that.
start they start they start. So then there's two methods, right? We can start on, like if you have a bankruptcy, you have like if you have like a child support bankruptcies, things like that, and they're in your report and they haven't been more than 7 years,
Yeah.
those are going to take longer. Like I'm telling them right now, it's going to take longer because the reason it's going to take longer because the bureaus have legally have, oh, this is a bankruptcy that's recently filed and
Yeah.
it's on your record for 7 years. Now that doesn't mean it can't go away. It's just that they have a harder punch towards you, and they're going to say, no, we're not going to give it to you, we're not going to remove it, we're not going to remove it. We're like, well, we want you to remove it. We want you to remove it. Eventually they're like, okay, okay, okay. Well, if you don't remove it, we're gonna do something else about it, right? So then
Yeah.
eventually we have there's multiple ways to attack it. There's a dispute of how, your financial situation. They can write a letter. They can explain your situation, why you went into bankruptcy. There's so many ways to attack bankruptcies, but that's one example. But anything else other than like a recent bankruptcy or a recent child support or like unsettled debt that hasn't been settled, those accounts are harder to remove, but they can be removed. It just takes up to 6 months, or longer, depending how long the bankruptcy has been around, how recent how recent the debt has been unsettled or charged off. Now, if the debt is not charged off, those accounts are almost impossible to remove because the lender is still reporting those debt. So
So you'd be better off paying those or negotiating,
paying
right?
it off, negotiating a negotiate. We can help you. Get in touch with people that can help you negotiate, or we can get you, negotiate onto that point where we can help you get that, on your own. You can get a negotiate. You can call the bank. We can tell you exactly what to tell them. But and the fast route, which is the most efficient route, is when you have nothing that's been on your credit for more, like if it's been more than 7 years, if you have no bankruptcies, or if you have bankruptcies over 7 years, that's easier to remove. Also, unsettled debt or debt that has been charged off.
Yeah.
Once the debt has been charged off by the bank, the original lender, it goes into collection. And once it goes into collection, the collection agencies have limited rights. They cannot just, they can't come after you like a bank kind of thing. They really can't sue you, right? They can
Yeah.
try and they will, and they will try to sue you and they will try to get you, but you are legally not required to deal with them. But you have the other option, which is which I recommend. I always recommend paying off debt before it goes to collections, or settling before it goes to collections. But sometimes you have to let the account default and go into collections. Once it goes into collections, then it's easier to remove, and our team can you go in and just remove those. Within 3 to 6 months, those will come off a lot faster, and some are we're able to get off within 45 days. So 30 to 45, which is the first round of attacking the account or the file. So my mindset on this is, oh, time is money. So if you want to get things done quicker, just let's attack it with the most powerful method, right? Which is
Yeah, that's what I was gonna
arbitration.
ask. Like, what is
The
it?
most, yeah,
Right.
the most powerful way is arbitration, and attacking those accounts the strongest way possible, which is going at them and basically threatening the bureaus, in this case, challenging the bureaus. I don't want to say threaten, I say challenging, right? We're challenging the
Yeah.
bureaus and we're telling them like, oh, we want this account to be removed because we believe that you are wrong. Prove
Yeah.
to us that you have liable or reliable information, or information that can justify this account, justify this bankruptcy, justify this, this lien, or this write off. Like, you guys wrote it off. Why is it still on my? You guys wrote it off. Why is it still on my report? If
Hmm.
you guys wrote it off, why are you guys? Why is this on my report? Well, you owe us money. Well, you sold that debt to a collection agency. You have no right to report it anymore. You are no longer at debt.
Yeah, exactly. Somebody else bought it. So then why am I
Well,
doing it? Right.
on paper, the banks wrote it off. They take a write off, and that they already got their money. They're gonna write
Right.
it off at the end of the year. So they have no more ties to you in any way, central for. But the collection unit will still try to fight it, but
Mhm.
that's where we come in, and we're able to remove those unsettled debt, those actual original unsettled debt, which is like Bank of America, Chase, or whatever else. And then the collection
Mhm.
agencies I can't give financial advice, but you as a person, you have every right to pay those or not
Yeah.
to pay those. And that's up to you. But we can go in and at least get it off your credit report. Usually collection agencies have limited ability to re-report. Sometimes they report again. It happens. It's not perfect. Sometimes the collection agencies, I don't know how it works, but sometimes they're able to report again. And that's like, well, we can remove it, but then the collection agency comes back. It's very rare. Once a collection agency gets removed, it's usually off your report, but you still have the debt. Don't get me wrong. They're still going to try to come after you. They're still going to try to get that money. And then I recommend settling, right? Get on the phone with them. Tell them, hey, so and so, usually it's like it's like a law firm. And then you just talk to them. You say, hey, I'm in a tough situation. I have a financial hardship. I can only afford, a quarter of what you guys are asking. And if you guys are willing to take a quarter, I can pay that right now.
Yeah.
And then they're like, well, we can't take a quarter, you owe us 30 grand. We can't take 10,000 or less than that. Right. I can give you guys 7, like,
Right.
and what happens is I've done this on $115,000, $120,000 debt. I've done this.
Whoa.
It's like, and I've able to brought my debt. And I mean, this is an example I can show everybody right now. I went from American Express
Yeah.
sued me for 118,000. I was like, man, and I was in a tough situation because I had made a bad mistake with a business partner of mine who it still owes me money now till this day. But I overcame that, right? But I had to settle that debt because it wasn't my fault. I was like, well, it was a true, true transaction, a real thing that I didn't instill on myself. It wasn't like I did it. I fell into that debt. It was my fault. I was in that debt. I made an investment. I made a bad choice on who I partnered up with. That's for sure. But at the end of the
It happens
day,
to the best of us.
yeah, it happens to the best of us. And I was able to negotiate. They started off with 90 grand. I was like, no way, I can't pay 90 grand right now. You guys are out of your mind. We went down to 75. My lawyers that I have access to business lawyers and personal lawyers, so I can help out anybody that needs help on the business side or the personal side. I can refer you to my lawyers, and they can help you out to settle debt.
Mhm.
But these guys, they went back and forth. Eventually, it was like, it was about like, we're talking about like $5,000. We're at 65 to 70,000, and I was able to bring it down to like $67,000, bro. And I was like, man, I wanted to go down to like 60, and I kept pushing and pushing and pushing them. But they said no, 60, 68, 9. I was like, look, I'll give you guys 67. That's it. And then boom, they agreed.
It's like 50%.
I paid 50% or lower, right? 818,000. I
Yeah.
settled. I never went to court. I didn't have to go to court. I didn't have to do any of that. So all I did was write a check and boom.
Yeah, that's how you do it.
Right.
Negotiate.
But the thing is, I have to have the money, right? But where did I get the money from? Right? Where did I get that money from?
Liquidation.
There's other methods, right? There's other
Yeah.
methods. You got to find ways. But I also was pushing my partner to pay me, and I forced him to pay me in cash because I was like, look, if I invest with credit, doesn't mean I'm getting back credit because I gave you credit. I want cash. So at the end of the day, it's an investment. It's a transaction. It's a process. He needed money fast, and the fastest money is credit money. So anybody that needs money fast, it's credit. So cash is fast, but it's harder to get. So you got to get.
Let's talk about the fast route, because I'm pretty sure most people are going to join the program and want to figure out like, how can I fix my credit as fast? So, like, what do you think the prices are, and then like, how do we do the fastest way?
So the price is, I want to give a set price, which is what I would love to do for everybody. But it depends on how many accounts you have, how many accounts you're going to remove, and then obviously the people that are working on, they need to spend time on the account. Usually the fast route is $400 to $500 per account removal. On all 3 bureaus. Okay. So that's 1, 2, 3. So, and then now if you're paying, if you're paying for like a slow route, you can pay up to $3,000 to $4,000 per credit repair process like that. That will take, you can spend $3,000 to $4,000 and you can get all your accounts removed. It's just going to take, I would say 6 months minimum to get all those removed. Right. And I'm just, and that's a slow route. So 6 months, pay about $3,000 to $4,000 and you'll be good. And it will get you out of here in 6 months. It will get you on the next step in 6 months. Now, if you're looking to get something done faster, which is more, I would believe more value added and also time. And, if you have the money, available, or you're able to, find ways to get the money, I would recommend using the fast route and spending the $400 per account and removing each one now. And that means, let's say you have like 4 or 10 accounts, that's $4,000, right? But is $4,000 on 10 accounts, that's $4,000, and you'll get it done within 45 days to 3 months. That's our
Wow.
that's our time frame. 45 days to 3 months. We always say 45 days because it takes about 15 days for the bureaus to respond. Even though we sent the mail or whatever, and it was within 30 days, it takes 45 days to get a response back. So 45 days to 3 months is the fast track, and that's I would say that's almost guaranteed, but in the sense that we're gonna attack it, and we're gonna hit them hard, and we're gonna make sure that we're gonna come in with the most powerful method, in this case arbitration, challenging, and basically forcing the bureaus to remove it. Now, if we can't get it done within 3 months, then we would have to discuss that with the client for whatever reason. If it's a bankruptcy or something else that's just not coming off, and that will be discussed. But that's something that I want to disclose. Like, everything is like per client basis.
Yeah.
And we're not just trying to take your money. We want to help you out, and it's going to be very transparent in the process of, like, okay, we have this account that we're removing, we're trying to get rid of this account, we're going to get rid of it for you, it's going to cost us much, and you've paid for it, so you don't have to worry about it. We're going to get it off. As long as the people pay for it, it's going to come off. But again, it could take up to three months at least for the fast track. Okay.
Yeah. So you think, like, while you're doing this, well, okay, so first thing we do is we go to each bureau and we dispute it ourselves, right? That's kind of like something everybody in the program should fucking do. Like, that's the easiest thing. And whatever doesn't come off after that, then we're going to go to, your guys, and we're going to pay them whatever it is, $400 an account, blah, 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 blah. And they're going to basically do arbitration, blow them up. While that's happening, our credit should kind of be going up a little bit, right? Like, while they're deleting stuff. Should we be applying for credit cards?
The biggest thing you're going to see is right away. You're going to see is the inquiries. First thing we'll do is we'll get rid of all the inquiries, because we got to get rid of that anyways in order to get somebody into funding. So we got to remove all the inquiries. Those are like pretty quick and easy, and they're like $150 a pop. Just remove those really quick. That's part of the process, and then we're gonna go and hit each account. So the guys, 45 days to 3 months, that's unheard of. Okay, like credit repair, that's unheard of, and anybody tells you otherwise,
cool.
It's not possible. Even like most people, like, wow, how did you do it that fast? Well, that's what we're offering, is that we have the fast track, we have the more aggressive route. And it costs money because there's more paperwork involved, but otherwise, if you're going to get your credit repaired the fast way, and then you're going to see the changes once an account falls off, once a written off account falls off, once a collection falls off, an inquiry falls off, you will see rise in your credit score. Your credit will start to go up by 5, 10, 50, 40, 50, 60 points, right? So, I've seen accounts, go from, like, myself, right? I went from around 480 to like 580 in like a week. And then I went from 580 to like 660 or something in like a month and a half, right? And then I was at 700 within on the fast track. I was done within, like, I would say, I don't know, 3 months max, everything, and I had like almost 10 accounts, and I've done it multiple times. So the first time I had that when I was younger, when I had 20 accounts and I had to remove all these bad debt that I had when I was before those accounts, it took me 6 months and longer, because I didn't know about the fast track. I used the regular methods, not using arbitration. It was just disputing and sending letters and trying to remove it from the bureau. That took me 6 months to a year. So again, slow route, 6 months to a year. Fast track, 45 days to 3 months is the fast track, and usually within 6 months, we try to say, just to be safe for everybody, is like, your fast track is within 6 months, your slow track is within a year.
Yeah. And just because I'm curious, like, let's say we want to do the fast track, are they going to want like a lump sum of cash up front, or can we like pay them as we go, or how does that usually go?
That's a good question. So at the end of the day, like, you're not going to pay anything up front. You're going to be paying as the accounts drop off. So
we can tell them, like, I want to go fast, pay you as the accounts drop off.
Yeah. So once you want to go fast, June, we're gonna get your file started. You're gonna sign a contract with us that you're gonna do this. right?
Mhm.
And then once you do that, once you sign the contract, we know that you're invested without
Yeah.
having any money. You don't need to put money on the table. We just need you to agree to do this. And then once you agree to do this, we're gonna go ahead and start, doing the process of removing accounts. As the accounts come in, oh, this one dropped off, this one dropped off, this one dropped. So boom, you're gonna have to pay like $1,200, right?
Yeah.
And that's when like the bill is due. So
Cool.
you don't. So this is the nice thing about going with us is that you don't have to pay up front, and they're gonna
Yeah.
get the work done. So eventually, that's where we're gonna get to the fast method, slow method. It's all about time. It's really just about time and money. And I think anybody, if that's all you takes to get your credit fixed is time and money. I mean,
Yeah.
no, anybody in their right mind should do it, right?
Yeah, exactly. Well, especially when we know like where it's leading to,
Exactly.
bags of
And
fucking
and
cash.
with the security, I want you to like maybe it's maybe emphasize the security aspect that that when you sign up to our program, we're gonna protect you. We're gonna protect your money. We're gonna protect you in the sense that you're not gonna get screwed. You don't you when you once you're in our community, you're no longer in a free market where like anybody can just screw you, right? People
Yeah.
are afraid to give their money to people because they think that person or that individual is just trying to take their money and they're not going to do anything. Or if they do it, they're going to take their time. They're not going to care about it.
Yeah, there is
No.
that like thing in the back
Yeah.
of
So
people's mind.
yeah, exactly. In the back of people's mind, everybody's mind. I mean, I've had
Yeah.
that mentality when I started working with people, and I still have that on certain things and certain levels. But I want to eliminate that fear. And that's what the coaching program is going to provide us, and the whole Facebook group is going to provide us. So we need to reinstill that security, and we can talk about it like literally like this on Zoom and on a live and tell people, hey, we're here to protect you. Your money is safe with us, and we're planning on basically helping you get your credit fixed. And you are essentially paying us back for the work that's been done for your credit, basically, because we're taking the first foot forward. We're taking a risk on you by getting your credit fixed. We're taking a risk by asking my partners, my credit associates, to work on your credit. That means I'm signing up to pay my creditors, right?
Yeah,
Now
exactly.
you have to come back and pay me, right? And that's just how it was. And it's like in this case, in this transaction, there's no money to be made. The money just goes from me to them, right? Because we're not making money on the credit repair anyways. So we're just taking the money and flowing to them. Essentially, I
Cool.
mean, that's the way it works, and that's what we want to do. Our goal is to get them to funding where that will allow them to start accessing money they didn't have, and then we'll start the funding file.